Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crunkest Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my co-host in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am Mr. I Don't Give a the 5-star general. Say, man, what's up with these illegal aliens? We're going to talk about it tonight, man. Y'all better get a seatbelt. This going to be good, man. Say, man, welcome to another exciting edition of the War Zone. I want to thank you for tuning in, and as usual, we couldn't do this without y'all, man. There's no way possible that we could do this without y'all. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in and making us probably the number one podcast on Facebook. And if we're not the number one podcast, we the realest. We the realest around here. That's what it is, man. Today, not much going on in Minnesota, just tying up paperwork, loose ends of paperwork. And the only thing I can tell y'all when I unveil this thing, you might be proud of me. You might be mad, but it don't matter. I'ma still do what I do regardless. So I see that the county judge in Harris County has decided to push school back until September 8th. Look, man, why don't y'all stop playing, man? Why don't y'all just shut the thing down till January, man? Just shut it down till January, get a hold of everything, and then go from there. This back and forth, and I mean, that's not good for people that own businesses. You open your business for 2 days, then you got to shut it down. You know, we need some normalcy. We need some normalcy. You know, the weekend warriors, they ready tonight. So, you know, ain't going to look like no COVID nowhere in Harris County or nowhere else, especially in the city of Chicago. Be safe, man. Because normally on the weekends it's rough. So, you know, I think that they should just get to a point where they just say, we'll just shut everything down until January because this back and forth is really not working. I'm going to turn it over to Demetra and we're going to get going. And oh, yeah, by the way, I gave y'all a name, all of y'all out there that watch us. Warzone junkies. Let's piss them off a little bit more.
So hello to everybody. Happy Friday evening. I hope everything is going your way. And to Gary's point, be safe out there because you know the weekend is coming. Nobody really wants to stay home. I don't want to stay home. They don't want to stay home. But people, unfortunately, they go out there and act like there's not a killer on the loose. The killer being the COVID-19. It is very real. It is rising in every state. Everywhere it's rising. In our county alone, they're talking about passing out 10 million masks to everybody to help keep down the COVID because it's rising really fast here. But also this weekend, a lot of the stimulus package stuff will end. One of those things being the unemployment, the $600, unless they, extended it while I was off of here. $600 a week extra on top of the benefits you get. That's going to end. Also, the moratorium on rent is going to end. And so all of that rent that you haven't been paying, not you necessarily, but people haven't been paying, the landlords are going to want their money. And so they're hoping to pass some sort of a stimulus there. But more importantly, Gary, how are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling pretty good, man. Chest tightened up a little bit last night. So I just took my meds and rested and didn't do anything today except for some paperwork. So, you know, I think my body was at a point where I just needed to rest a little bit. I mean, like I say, man, I mean, I'm an advocate. I'm battling these corrupt politicians. I got a personal life. And, you know, then on top of that, I maintain today I got my final grade for the summer and I knocked a 3.75, you know, in my college courses. So, I mean, you think about all the stuff that I do, the traveling, and I'm traveling with backpacks full of books, still have to do homework. So I think I just pushed myself a little too hard, or had nothing to do with the stuff that's been going on. I mean, I deal with that every day anyway. So, but I feel all right.
Donovan?
All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. It is Friday. There's nowhere to go, but I'm sure people are going to find that something to do. I just want to just put a little advertisement and a little caution to you. If you are trolling this page and you don't want to be trolled back, I strongly recommend you go find something else to do, or you will be in your feelings tonight. So those of you guys, I'll be in the comments. For those of you guys in the comments, you see somebody kind of trolling, you might kind of want to warn them a little bit. But again, we're going to have a great conversation for Dimitri and I. This is a big issue here in California. It's a big issue in Texas. I mean, it's a big issue all along across the border. So let's get into it.
You want me to start?
If you want to, it doesn't matter.
I'm a black man in America. I'm a tax-paying citizen in America. It has nothing to do with my political affiliation, but y'all know I rocks with my peoples. But the thing that gets me is the legal immigrant thing, because I watched Harris County, during the COVID, come up with millions of dollars for illegal immigrants. Am I going to say that they don't deserve it? Nope. But what I am going to say is you're not doing anything for us. So, my issue is taking my tax money, and having to cover, people that should not even be here. Now, I know people are going to get mad, but the realization is tonight, I don't know how Dimitri and Donovan feels, because we don't script this show. We don't script it. We just, it's what's in us. So for me, I get to say what the bulk of America wants to say, but because of who they work for, their social affiliations, they don't say it. And a lot of people have a problem with the United States of America having to take care of illegal immigrants. I'll get into some other things, and I don't care if they pay taxes, Claude. I don't care. So let me ask you a question, Dimitri and Donovan. Maybe you can answer this. When the illegal immigrant becomes a U.S. citizen, do they have the right to vote?
When they become one, yes.
When they become a United States citizen, they have the right to vote. Do they renew their right to vote every 25 years? So they get rights that black people don't get. I don't give a damn if they pay taxes. If you got to sneak up in here, it's a problem.
Well, I just want to put some numbers on it, if that's all right with you. So it's about 1.7 million illegal immigrants that are at risk, I guess, of being sent back due to the policies of Donald Trump. Biden, I'm going to keep wanting to call him president. Maybe he's going to be president. I don't know. Biden is saying that he wants to actually make them legal on day one of his presidency. Let's see here. There's about 100,000 DACA students, or young people rather, that would also be able to stay if he becomes president under the things that he's trying to do. And speaking of taxes, it is said that illegal immigrants cost American taxpayers, and the numbers are all over the place. So what I've seen is about 54 billion to 135 billion, but it's really hard to tell because, as somebody did say, they do pay taxes, about 11 or 12 billion dollars a year into taxes and Social Security, in addition to them. And so they don't get that back because they can't get earned income credit, all that, due to their illegal status. I'm just giving y'all some numbers. Also, they take into account that they pay sales tax and all that kind of stuff, and they don't really get any of that back. So the numbers are kind of skewed. But we know that Trump has built a wall, if you will. And I guess the other day he said that he wants to build one in Colorado. He wants to build a wall in Colorado. He wants to build build a wall in Colorado. I was like, okay, is there a border somewhere? Okay, whatever. So he wants to build a wall, you know, to keep illegal immigrants out. And I see a lot of people in the comment section, a few people rather, saying, well, you know, white people are the original illegal immigrants and all of that. But we want to speak in terms of what that means for Black people. What that means for Black people, the pros and the cons. Donovan?
Well, absolutely. You know, now my thing is this. I am too focused worrying about my people to worry about these illegals that come here, because it's not just illegal Hispanics. You got a lot of illegal Africans that overstay their visa, and more so Europeans. So, you know, this problem is global, actually. But I'm with the 5-star in regards to why is it that they don't have to renew their rights, but we have to renew our rights? They have more going for them than, how can I say this, in their need. A good example here in California, Demetria, like we said yesterday, in the COVID rescue package that the Democrats put out, $230 million was allocated in California alone for illegal people. But when we say, okay, well, $230 million, why can't you give us $230 million in free school tuition fees or free something, you know, not free, but give us the money? It can't be done. But they can find all this money any and everywhere.
And I want to address something, Loren, I hope I'm saying that right. She's saying when illegal children, I think she's trying to say, can still go to school and receive food stamps with no Social Security. So she's right. And they actually said that education for illegal immigrants and food stamps is actually one of the highest expenses that American taxpayers pay in regards to illegal immigrants. So yeah, she's right.
The school system makes a mint off illegal immigrants. The school system don't give a damn because they get their money from the taxes too. So, you know, they use these illegal immigrants as a means to make money off them. You know, and I was just reading something and it says undocumented immigrants are at least 142% more likely to be convicted of a crime. They also tend to commit more serious crimes and serve 10.5% longer sentences. So let's talk about Black on Black crime. Nope. Let's talk about our friends who's sneaking up in here and what they doing. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I love everybody, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If you live in Houston, you can act like them numbers are real, but you know those numbers are not real. Those FBI crime stats are at least 2 to 3 years behind. They're at least 2 to 3 years behind. In the city of Houston, you have murders every day, every single day. And a lot of murders are being committed by young Blacks as well as illegal immigrants. So the thing is it even safe to allow illegal immigrants to be here? Now, all the politicians that's watching, take your finger and stick it right here and shut up, because you want to say it too. But you have to be politically correct right now. You got to say the right things. I've been in the company of a bunch of y'all. I know how you feel, but you can't say it. It's almost say it for you. You know, everybody want to, Trump gonna build a wall. This ain't the first time a wall would have been built. This ain't the first time. But because, you know, my big homie said it's a big problem. But this is not the first time. I think if you want to come to the United States of America, there's a way to come. And you have to come the right way. If you sneak in, we ought to get you an Uber and get you up out of here.
And I think we ought to get to a point to where we stop being so sensitive. If we're speaking factual or close to facts as possible, we're not always right. I don't think there should be like, why is it such a taboo to talk about certain things. You know, as long as you're talking about it in the right manner, I don't see the problem. But let's talk about the wall. Yes, the wall is racist in its inception. The fact, the mere reason that Trump wants to build it, it is racist. Because, you know, when he said, he was like, you know, they got all their rapists and killers and drug dealers and all that coming over here. We don't necessarily know how true that is. But let's talk about what it means for Black people. As Dr. Claude Anderson, you guys hear me reference Dr. Claude Anderson a lot. I suggest you read upon him. But he says, for those of you guys who were, you know, sympathetic to what's going on, or they're building a wall that's messed up, they're not coming over here to help you. They're coming over here to replace you as Black people. As it is now, Black people, Black and brown people make up these the majority of the service sector of the workforce. And as you guys can also see, a lot of those jobs are closed or have gone away due to the COVID. And so without the wall and allowing everybody to come in, we get replaced because, for one, we're not on top of our game. And, you know, again, we work in the service sector. And so those are the things that we need to think about. The wall actually helps Black people.
Well, you know, speaking of the wall, you got to think about it also, too. We're less than 12 years from zero. So we are now a problem because we are not contributing, other than being mass consumers, to what's going on in the global economy. We're not building any. We don't have any businesses. We're not producing other than consuming. And I know there's going to be somebody who says, I don't have a business. So-and-so has a business. You can't take 3, 4, 5 little businesses or whatever and say, yeah, you know, look at, like, as a whole, we don't produce anything. So if you're a nation and you see a group of people that are not contributing and they're less than 12 years from zero wealth, I got to bring in somebody that's going to come in and do the work.
I put up a comment from Claude, and I know Claude. Why do we refer to our race, Black on Black crime, when we talk about crime? Why don't we say white on white crime when we talk about crimes in the white community? I want to answer that for Claude. I really do. Why is it every time we say anything that's Black, we got to worry about what them white folk doing? So let me ask you a question. How did white on white crime look in Chicago last weekend? How it look in Chicago, man? Call a spade, man. Now I get it. We got all these ways of saying things, you know, and I'm like Demetri. We always have a problem with something, but I have a problem with us just not accepting the fact that on some days we are not at our best as Black people. We are not at our best as Black people. So let's have this conversation. We're talking about illegal immigrants. Let's leave a white man out of it for a second. Now, me and Demetri, we don't differ too much, you know, but I don't think the wall is racist. I think if we really got the real crime stats, my man might be right on the money. These crime stats are behind at least 2 to 3 years FBI crime stats. I watched the mayor of Houston run a campaign last year where this man said we do not have a gang problem. And the chief come back and say we got 55,000 gang members. Because the mayor's going by the stats that he has. So, you know, I think the wall, I don't think it was, maybe, you know, with Trump being who Trump is, you know, he did it because, you know, people call him racist. But I think that the realism of the wall is what it was served for. Think about the wall, and could it really cut down on drug trafficking? Because El Chapo didn't care if you had a mountain in front of the U.S. He gonna dig a tunnel somewhere. He gonna get that dope up over here until they went got him. So undoubtedly he didn't pay who he needed to pay, because other than that they would have never came got him anyway. But you know, I'm just saying that it's a lot that goes on, especially in Southwest Houston, where we have a high illegal immigrant population, and the crime over there is starting to get worse and worse and worse every single day. And Black people need to start worrying about Black people. We trying to save y'all out there. We need DACA. We need DACA. Can we get our money, man? Can we get our reparations? Will y'all go to war for the reparations? But y'all will go to war for anything else for anybody else.
Yeah, when they were doing the Voting Rights Act up to the, what was that, Demetria, where they were at the Supreme Court and it was a black issue? I forget which one it was. Damn. They had like maybe 300 black people show up, but then the Dreamers, now these people are illegal. I don't know where ICE was, but when the Supreme Court was deciding what the situation with the Dreamers and DACA, you saw they said something like 11,000 Hispanics out there, plus some black folks, plus some black congressional caucus members out there putting the pressure on the Supreme Court to rule in their favor. But when it came to a black issue, I can't remember it right now, there was like 300 of us.
I forget exactly what it is, but as I say, we have to start being more proactive and instead of being reactive as people. But I would also piggyback off of Gary's point where he says the wall may be stopping some drug activity, drugs from coming over here. Well, then they need to build a wall around the White House and, you know, the CIA and all those mugs, because that's how the drugs is really getting over here. That's where the wall needs to go.
Yeah, because they say a lot of your people that are that are over here, other than where we're at, Demetria, because we're right near Mexico, they overstay their visa and they come in straight into a major airport, and they just overstay their visas. So it's like you got money to spend on this wall, but you don't have money for school lunches, you don't have money for health care, you don't have money for homelessness. To attack these issues that really affect taxpayers. And the funny thing about it is, you guys that are listening to me right now out there, you have a job and you got your money. How would you feel if I told you what I'm going to spend your money on? It's your money.
And the other thing that should be said, so we as Black people are going to fully, well, not all of us, but most of us are fully going to send Joe Biden to the White House, and he says that in addition to day one or his first 100 days or whatever, he wants to actually send judges to the border to help people, I guess, be able to come over here legally. And he also wants to send medical care to the border for the kids in the cages and all that kind of stuff. But so I say that to say is we as Black people are going to vote for him. Majority of us, I guess, are, but yet we're not going to get anything for it. He hasn't said what he was going to do. Well, he did say he's going to do something for Black people within his lift every voice, blah, blah, blah. But he knows what we want. We want money. We want our reparations check. We don't want you to tell us what to do with our money. We don't want you to say, well, we're going to spend this here and there. No, write us a check. We can do what we want to do with our money. But just think about that. A man that you're going to run to the rush to send to the White House is not even going to do anything tangible for you as Black people, but he's gung-ho to help people who, you know, just, let's be honest, legally aren't even supposed to be here as of yet.
When you look at the jobs, let's talk about the jobs. You know, the guys that's re-entering society from prison, you know, trying to get them a job. You won't hire a man that has a felony, but you'll hire a man that's not even supposed to be here. So the jobs, look on the freeway. In almost every major city in America, there is freeway construction. Who you see working on them jobs? Why is it that they only hire them? When you look at your city workers, you know, Blacks get the jobs. I got a good partner, got a job, man. He work in the park picking up trash. But the illegal immigrants got the high paying jobs. So here's the kicker. Those jobs pay decent money, but they keep them because they don't even pay them what they should be getting paid anyway. You see what I'm saying? And then you look at how many of them get robbed. It's so many gonna get robbed today is unreal, because they paying these people in cash. So that's why I'm saying politicians, business owners, you know, you want them here for a certain reason. You want them here for a certain reason. You make money off of them, whether it's the school system or whatever. but you underpay them because you can get away with it. But you will give a man a job that's not supposed to be here legally, but you won't give that guy a second chance that then paid his debt to society. I call that bullshit.
Well, even our current president, he got caught with illegals on his properties. Everybody keeps forgetting that. And he's bringing them under that certain visa where he doesn't have to pay them a certain amount. I mean, he won't even hire Americans. And this is what's happening. Like here in California, we have E-Verify for employment. They get so many companies out here that get caught with all these people. They're like, well, if you're supposed to be using E-Verify, how did all these people get in here that shouldn't be here to begin with? And they get a little fine, and then they go right back and get some more of those people that aren't supposed to be here. And we just let it get away. And here's the thing, okay? I live in a warehouse city, where the Amazon is and all these big warehouses. And it's very sad, but they practice group economics because once they get in there, let's say they become a supervisor, they start hiring their own. They weed out the blacks, they push the blacks out, and they just do what they do. And next thing you know, all you see working there is Hispanics. And then the Asians, no good, family business, no hire. Done. Just done. So
it's a cold game, man. And people will go to bat and try to make excuses for it. Joe is going to take care of them on the first day. We haven't been taken care of for 400 years. This man won't sit in office 24 hours before he show him some love. Can you show your partner some love, Joe? Can you write me a check for $30? You make it show they good. And do I need to get mad at him? No, I get mad at the representation again. The people that represent us that y'all keep putting in there, letting this foolishness go on. Your black politicians fighting for illegal immigrants. And you notice I said your. Because over there on our side of the ball, me and my peoples, we ain't rocking like that no more.
Right. Did you see that question by Clyde Foster? He says, how do you feel about employers who require potential employees to speak English as a condition for employment?
I don't like it in employment, and I don't like it in schools. I come from Third Ward, Texas. When I walk in the office, I'm hearing 2 and 3 different languages. Now, I know damn well we don't have that many nationalities go to this school. But black people, we are bilingual too. What you speak? Spanish, Mr. Monroe? You speak German, Portuguese? No, I speak slang because I can say it in a way that your ass will never figure out what the hell I just said. And we all speak it. But they're forcing this. They forced this bilingual. I mean, even in HISD, you created a curriculum. The state of Texas created a curriculum. We can't get Pan-African studies. We can't get, black, African-American studies. We can't get nothing. Nothing. I feel like Dollar Bill. Nothing.
So there's 2 things I want to talk about: the African American studies and all of that. When I was in high school, like 10 years ago, we didn't have a black student union at all. And I went to all of the black teachers, all the black faculties that say, hey, we need an advisor before we can start our BSU. You know what they told me? No. They told me, no, I'm too busy. I can't do it. You know who I finally asked? And he said he'd do it? A white man, Mr. Hughes. I'll never forget Mr. Hughes. And I was able to start. We didn't have a BSU on our campus until 1988. That's when we got one on our campus, is when I went around and asking all the teachers, told me no. So the point that I'm making is we got to get involved too. Now, this is the other thing. that we have to consider. What happens when you have a majority? What do they say? Majority what? Majority rules, okay? So let's take Hispanics, for example. Hispanics, they have their babies for whatever reason, whether it's religion or whatever, I'm not saying they don't have abortions, but who disproportionately has more abortions? It's us as Black women. We disproportionately have more abortions. So the point that I'm making is, how are we ever going to become a majority when we keep killing all of our babies? Well, not all, but we kill a lot of babies. Say there's more Black babies that have been aborted than the casualties in the Vietnam War. So I mean, that's something we got to think about. Like, we have the power to take some of it back, but until we realize the things that we are also doing to contribute to becoming a permanent underclass, then we'll always be in that position.
One of the biggest things that we do to ourselves, we don't have the realization of when we're being disrespected. We act like we don't know when these people are just disrespecting us. In the Houston Independent School District, I can pick on them. The month of February is Black History Month. I think that's like that all around the country. Am I correct? Maybe so. Black History Month. I walk into the school board meeting, Black History Month. They got a full-fledged mariachi band in the hallway. And y'all don't know when we being disrespected. So if you don't have a problem with it, I'm not talking about Latinas. I'm not talking about Mexicans that's here legally. I'm talking about illegally. Taking your jobs, making your taxes go up. If you don't have a problem with that, you crazy. Don't let them Democratic clowns suck you in and make you think it's all good. And one lady asked on there, I can't remember the comment and rolled up. Do you think Joe's gonna really do it on the first day? You damn right Joe gonna give it to him on the first day. He's gonna honor that promise. And you know why? Because somewhere in there, they done put a little money in his coffer. They done put a little money in his coffer. See, you poor Black people, y'all don't understand. LGBTQ, they come up out of nowhere. Nowhere and got rights Black people don't even have. You know why? Because they got money. They got money. These people that's getting stuff done, they got money. That's why I'm over there rocking with my folk, man, because they got money.
Exactly. I mean, okay, it's been statistically, if you look it up, it's been about 60 years since we had the 1960s, right? The Black population back then was about 13%. The Black population right now is about 13%. Now, I'm not saying, we go out there and just start, mass orgying, which, whatever, people are going to be doing and just, mass produce babies. But the bottom line is, we are not moving as a group to get bigger, to garner more votes. Yes, the Democratic Party still needs us to get them over the hump so they can get power. Asians in the 1970s were 2% of the population. They're now 8%. And they're the richest group in the United States. What are we going to do, people? I mean, we're falling behind and we're just stagnant. We've got to protect our jobs. We've got to protect our communities. That's just the bottom line.
I noticed something, Demetri and Claude, especially in Houston. In Houston, ethnicities own sections of the town. When you speak of the Asians, they actually have two sections of the town. They're over there in that Bel Air area, and they're over there in Chinatown. The Jamaicans, they got their little thing going on Bissonnette. My Latina brothers, they locking and loading in Pasadena. The white folk everywhere. The Negroes don't own a goddamn thing. Nothing. We don't own nothing. You know why? Because we spend all our time helping everybody else. Look, the way I feel about it, if you ain't supposed to be here, then go home. Go home, come back when you get your papers right, man. In the meantime, while you're gone, I'm going to give that job to one of these struggling brothers so they can get their family on their feet, man. Go home. Because if I walked up to the gate to get into Mexico and I ain't had it, no paperwork, no ID, them people ain't gonna let me up in there, man. Nothing. You who is you? You better get away from here. So that's the way I feel. If you ain't supposed to be here, bye.
So Errol, I hope I said that right, said, what is the abortion rate in the Black community? From what I understand, it's about 34, 33, 34, 35%. Among Black women, and white women is 36%. So one might say, well, it's not true that Black women have more abortions than white women disproportionately, because we only make up about 13% of the population. White women belong in a class of 60% or so of the population. So yeah, you would say that we are getting rid of more of our babies. And I think it was KA that says that basically she doesn't know women, Black women who are doing that. They believe in keeping their babies. Well, that's good. We should all have that attitude, but unfortunately, it's not that the case with a lot of Black mothers and Black babies. We know that Planned Parenthood targets our community. It's just a fact. But we know that was by design via the eugenics program that was created to help sterilize Black women and get rid of Black babies, because we were considered a burden on society. After slavery, we became a debt. We were no longer an asset. And so they wanted to get rid of us, and Planned Parenthood was one of those things that they used to do it. So
I think Claude's comment was, in regards to jobs or different things, that it's not the immigrants' fault. You're a strong African American, Claude. You have your little piece of the pie. I know 45, 50 brothers that can't find a job, man. Everywhere they go, look, they get on the trash truck, anything, man. They can't get the job, bro. So here we go. Here's the equalizer. Y'all ain't running up on them ICE people when they run up on them. Since y'all love them so much, why y'all ain't bucking them ICE people when they run up on them? When they ran up in that chicken plant in Mississippi, and 90% of the workers in the chicken plant had to go back. But in that same town, Black people couldn't find a job. Our man, Marcus, that normally comes sit in with us sometime, in his little town in Arkansas, he said the same thing. Black people can't find a job, man, because you're giving the job to the illegal people. Not what you use to keep us out the jobs. You want to run our credit. These people ain't got no Social Security card, man. But you'll get them a job with no Social Security card, but tell us, you can't get the job, Mr. Monroe, because your credit is bad. And y'all gonna justify that? Well, man, I got some beachfront property in the middle of the ship channel I can sell you to.
yeah, and so I saw a comment. Let's see. It was actually Jeffrey. He was replying to Kenitra, and he says, sisters don't want to have babies because of failed relationships, and now they are dating women now too. I mean, yeah, I guess that plays a role into it. A lot of women don't want to be single moms. And yeah, no, there's a whole argument. Well, why ain't laying that? Yes, we know all that is, goes into the place, to the play rather. But yeah, that's part of it. That's definitely economic status plays a big role in that, not being able to take care of a child. Yeah, that is, I think, it's close to being one of the number one reasons why all women abort, and they're just not ready. They don't want to be a mother.
Another problem, and I'm being serious, it's the music. That's why we're not populating as well as we could. When Big Luther died, you just couldn't get it like you used to get it no more. Freddie Jackson, small. You couldn't get it like you used to get it no more. The Keith Sweat that fell off for a second. You know what I'm saying? It's the music too. You just can't make love to Cardi B. It don't work like that no more. So if you're old school, get you some old school music. Get you a shot of Crown. and go knock the headboard off the bed, man, and let's populate this planet.
Well, I just got two things. Number one, to help populate the planet, we have to stop telling our daughters, our sisters, that if they have a baby when they're not ready, it's going to ruin their life. With that stigma in there, some women would run and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to ruin my life. Now I got to go get, they're going to run and go get an abortion, which is, to me, hideous, because everybody's entitled to one mistake. Now, when she has 3, 4, 5, yeah, you got a problem going on there, especially when there's like 3 or 4 or 5 baby daddies. So that's a big problem. But
if you would be a parent, like you're supposed to be a parent, if you would raise your babies from being babies, then a lot of times that wouldn't happen. But when you just out here thotting at 49 years old and your kids raising themselves, yeah, you're gonna have your daughter gonna have a baby at 12 years old. Now I will say, if you have the right family structure and that child has a baby at a young age, it could possibly work. But if that child is in the wrong environment, it's gonna destroy that child's life. I've seen it done in my own family. It's gonna destroy that child's life. I do not promote teenage sex. I can't. I seen it, do what it do. I just think you need to wait. If you're young, you need to wait. Get you some baby oil. Make sure you lock the door and stay in the room for a while. Well, don't be laying up with these little girls having these babies thinking your mama and them gonna take care of.
Lord have mercy. I think I heard a little bit too much that I wanted to hear. I'm trying to just get to some of you guys' comments since we have you on here. Let's see. Arrow, you say we are bringing a Black community government think tank mirroring the U.S. structure and organized to collaborate, address our issues, self-funded. Maybe we'll have to have you on here one day. You can tell us a little bit about your think tank and what the overall goal is, because we do actually need more Black think tanks. I like to think that the war zone is some sort of a think tank, if you will. I don't know. I'm sure that can be argued. And then KA says, so when did the narrative change? 1 minute the world was saying Black women were procreating like roaches. Now sisters aren't procreating enough. Where do we win? Well, it depends on who you're asking and who's asking the question. Now, if you're talking about saying that Black women were creating like roaches, that they would probably be those who are in favor of the eugenics program. They're breeding too much. We know, of course, that's a lot of racism going on. They're breeding too much. We're having to take care of these babies on welfare, the whole welfare queen thing, this, that, and the other. Now, if you're saying we're not procreating enough, that's coming from us as Black people. That's just a fact. How is it that we are still roughly 13% of the population? That number has been that way since the 60s. So something is going on. Listen, I don't want to completely blame the sisters. It's not just the sisters' fault, but we have, and let's just keep it real. A lot of homosexuality going on in our community. We have a lot of our men that are incarcerated. So that's a whole host of things going into our low population rate. Then you have homicide, whether it's some people say Black on Black crime or the wholesale murder of by police officers and things like that. So it's not just Black women's fault, but we sure do get rid of a lot of babies that if we had them, it would help boost our population.
Now, Kenitra said, I had a kid at 17. I graduated high school, went to trade school. My son graduated, went to the military, did his 4 years, and is now working. He had his first kid at 23. My first 2 grandkids are 7 years apart. They don't ruin your life if you have goals. So you were 17. I'm talking about kids having babies at 12. 12, 13 years old. Ain't even out of middle school yet. So when the last time, and I'm just asking because I know somebody gonna throw it out there. When the last time you went over there to the white side of town and seen a bunch of little pregnant 13-year-olds at the middle school? Go walk our hallways. Some schools should just be a pregnant school. Because it's some pornographic stuff going on. But if you 12 or 13, don't look. I'm not gonna tell anybody to get an abortion. That is your choice. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you, a 12, 13-year-old kid, by the time that kid is old enough to crawl, walk, or whatever, they dumping him off on the mama, on the grandma. Grandma ain't but 32. You know, the kid gonna revert right back to the age of 12, 13 because they put their lives on hold. And you got a kid that's 4 or 5 years behind. If a child is 12, 13 years old, they still playing with dolls and playing with themselves. They don't need to be trying to raise a child. And how you gonna, if you got a child, oh, I'm a man and a woman, but you and the child and the box of Similac living in your mama house. Come on, man, that don't work.
Hey, I got a question from Kenneth R. Jones Sr. Y'all need to be worried about the black folks being murdered in Chicago. Guess that don't matter. I'm just saying. Ken, we do talk about that right now. What you're looking at, when you look at the 5-star general, he is at ground zero in Minneapolis doing a follow-up to what happened up there. So maybe you missed the show or things like that. And, maybe you're coming on the tail end, but we do talk about what's going on in Houston, California, Chicago, Minnesota, Atlanta, you name it. We're done it. So I don't know if you're new to the show, but welcome.
Well, if he's new to the show or not, we keep it 100, young man. So let me challenge you. I get back to Houston, middle of next week. Won't you inbox me? Let's me and you go to Chicago. Let's see what kind of plan we can put together for them youngsters that got them M16 knocking everybody head off. Let's go. Us sitting here talking about it all day long, every day. It don't get nothing done. The best thing that we can do is educate you politically so that you can make decisions in the voting booth. The voting booth will solve a lot of these issues. But see, we telling you about Big Daddy Biden, and y'all telling us we crazy. I swear to God, when he mess over us, I'm gonna pop a bottle of champagne live on the war zone. Cause he gonna hit us. You remember the song? I don't even need to remix it. We ain't played it in a while. Joe Biden finna hit him with the dig. Joe Biden finna hit him with the dig.
Yeah, it just seems like every time we get somebody in there, it's just like, okay, you guys remember when Obama ran the first time? We were all excited, something we never saw before. We're like, oh man, somebody looks like us. We're gonna, we made it. This is it. This is our guy. 4 years passed. He did all this stuff, got the health care, which sucks, but it's better than nothing, I guess. But he gets in there. Then he's up for re-election. And even at the town halls, black folks were like, hey, man, I'm tired of defending you. You haven't done anything for us. What's up? You've done this, this, and this for these people. You've done this, this, and this for Wall Street. I mean, what's up? I'm out of work. You guys remember all that? And Obama was like, yes, I didn't really do it really good, but if you give me another 4 years, I'll definitely make sure that we'll take care of that situation. The next, when he got reelected, he ain't got to do shit because he's out the door anyway. So 8 years, we're back to ground zero. Now we've got Trump, 4 years. Boom, Biden gets in there. Maybe he stay, for one term, maybe he does two. And then we go back to zero. We don't get anything. We're back to zero. And we're in a perpetual cycle of doing the same thing over and over again and not getting anything in return. And that's what we're trying to tell you guys.
Demetri, can you tell us some of the things that Biden, the Obama Biden camp did for illegal immigrants, and then tell us some of the things that the same camp did for black people, please?
Well, one of the things they did for illegal immigrants was DACA and the Dreamers Act. They were very instrumental in doing that. But then some people will say that Obama actually deported more illegal immigrants too. So I guess, there's an argument on both sides. But specifically, what he did for Black people,
not a goddamn thing.
I was looking under my desk. I didn't find anything. I hope that.
Yeah, specifically, he didn't. I mean, you're sure? You're absolutely sure, because this is a Black man with black skin. Because I specifically remember him talking about reparations. What was his reply when he was challenged about when we're going to get reparations?
He says, "I don't see it happening."
Under a Black president, he's the president, and he doesn't see it happening.
So let me ask you a question. Was that his first term or second term?
I want to say it was a second term.
Yeah, it was.
He was smoked in the second term, because in the first term we could have got it hands down.
Well, second term, especially, I mean, he wasn't up for re-election. He could have said, okay, the first term, y'all get why I couldn't do nothing for you, had to get in here a second time. But he got in there a second time and still didn't do anything. So it's like,
look, this is how it would have worked with me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm the president. I have a super majority. I got the House. I got the Senate. I got all the votes. I'm gonna call you because you my advisor. Demetri, you need to call all these Congress and Senator people. Tell them them people need reparation and put the numbers together, make this shit work. Don't call back Ryan Hill until y'all get that done. Click.
But you know what the funny thing?
Couldn't do that?
Yeah,
because they didn't want to give it to us.
Right. You know the funny thing about that, though, and I know a lot of you viewers are going to disagree with me. The biggest impediment to that scenario is not going to be the Democrats or the Republicans. It's going to be the Democrats, because we control the House right now. The Democrats control the House right now. Has there been a reparations bill put on the floor, even if it's symbolic? They won't do it. They won't do it.
You have to keep Black people dependent on the government. This is how they make their money. This is why the people go in and they lobby. They do all this trickery behind the scenes. And the people really think it's the Republicans doing it to them. It ain't the Republicans, it's the Democrats, man. Now, I want y'all to understand, I have never ate lunch with Donovan and Demetri. How in the hell 3 people from 3 different spots think the same damn way? Because our eyes are open, we can see it. Man, the man had a super majority. He had all the votes. It ain't like this impeachment thing where, the Democrats, they pushed it through and then they got to the Republican side and they shot it down. No, they could have pushed it through, and then when it got to the other side, they controlled that too. They didn't want you to have it. They wanted you to stay dependent on the government. So you got us begging for $1,200 a month, but you giving them illegal immigrants all kind of goddamn assistance. But we gotta beg you for $1,200. Now you done cut the rent shit off. Everybody finna be homeless. Unemployment, you finna start starving. Y'all better wake up and see it ain't them people, man. It's your people that's representing you.
I mean, like, really, what is it gonna take? It's I would like to say we talk till we blue in the face, but we Black, so I don't know if we get blue in the face. But I mean, I don't know. To me, it should be logical, right? It's a give and it's a take. I give you my vote and you give me something for it. I don't understand why that's so hard of a logic to follow, but I don't know. I think, as we always talk about, we like symbolism more than we like tangibles. We like to feel good, like with the Obama administration. I'll be the first to admit I voted for Obama twice, specifically because he was a Black man. And I originally liked some of the stuff he was saying. You know, I was not enamored by him being a black man. I like Michelle. I like the kids, and all of that. You know, it was because we've always heard we'll never get a black president. You know, and we'll never get one, and we got one. And I think a lot of us got blinded by that and really didn't. I mean, you think about the first black president says, I don't think they should get reparations or black people should get reparations. He could say that because we weren't really even asking it from him. We were just happy that he got in there. So he was like, well, I'm going to keep the white people happy. And I guess the black people are happy because I'm just here. I don't even have to do anything for them. I'm just here and they're happy with that. They like my cool walk. They like Michelle Obama's arms and, all of that. But he knew we wouldn't get mad about it. I mean, there's still a lot of black people who aren't mad about not getting reparations to this day. They're just happy that Joe Biden, who was with Obama, he's going to get in the White House to do absolutely more of nothing for black people. Sad.
Why would you expect? I'm trying to get this, because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Why would you expect more from a white man than a black man? The black man had the power. And I see my good friend Terry Hayes said that white America was not going to put up. It didn't matter what they put up with. They had all the votes. The deck was stacked. So to me, that was our window of opportunity. That window has closed. You're not getting it.
And a lot of people say, a lot of people say that, he was under the gun, they would have killed him or whatever it is. I want you guys to think logically here. The first elected black president, if he would have gotten assassinated or a accident would have happened, you don't think we would have tore this fucking country up to where they would have given us anything we wanted at that time?
We wasn't gonna do a goddamn thing.
Yeah, but he wasn't in any danger in regard to that, because once he became the president, they knew, oh man, if anything happens to this guy, we're not going to fall for the okie doke. We're like, that's bullshit. We were going to tear this motherfucker up. So
he should have passed reparations. They should have did that the first 6 months he was in office. And if they didn't want to vote him back in, who give a damn? If they'd have cut the money off, you know how it is when you're getting stamps. Sooner or later you miss an appointment, they cut your stamps off. So if they'd have cut the reparations off, don't matter, big homie. We done got something out the deal. We ain't getting nothing out the deal, man. The man had all the votes, man. He had everything he needed to get it done. And now everybody you gotta give Joe a pass because you ain't finna get it. That's why you can live with Joe Biden with reparations, because you're not finna get it. And he doesn't believe in it anyway. He done already said it. That came out his mouth, man.
Right.
Joe Biden gonna be. I think Joe Biden gonna be sitting on the front step of the White House one day, singing that old Negro spiritual.
Yes.
Oh, nigga, what you gonna say when freedom come your way?
Hey, Demetra, what was that movie, Claudine, when they caught the man in the house? Wouldn't that be the same analogy? If you got the man in the house, well, you can't get this, you can't get that.
Where'd you get the iron? Where was that iron? Is that a new iron? I love the Claudine is one of my favorite movies. I don't care what nobody say. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I want us to contemplate Patricia. And how you doing, Patricia? Her question for a minute. She says, we need to be accountable. How do we get Black people to want to be accountable? How do we do that? I have a good answer, but I'll let you guys go first.
Accountable in what way?
Anyway, I don't know. Throw a dart and whatever it hits back.
Okay, let me throw a rock. Let's say crime. How do we hold them accountable? Hold the United States of America accountable. They pumping the dope, they pumping the guns. If you wouldn't drop this stuff off in our neighborhood, they wouldn't have access to it. Let's talk about health care. Who can change that? Let's talk about the United States of America. You know, we need affordable health care for our people. Let's talk about education. Who can fix that? The United States of America. So the people that we have to hold accountable are them that we keep putting in office. I don't have them issues. I'm over here with my Republican homies now. I don't have those issues, man. I got tired of begging for scraps. I got tired of pleading with the politicians for the same thing. When y'all gonna come hang out with me, man? How many of y'all want to come hang out with me? Come hang out with your partner, man. It's all right. You can wear the red tie with me. I'm gonna hurt y'all with that "Make America Great Again" cap. Watch what I tell you.
But Demetri, what was the question again?
How do we make us accountable? Like, how do we make Black people want to be accountable?
Well, I would say repair the Black family. Get that Black man back into the house and pick up his role as a father, a protector, a husband. Number one, I think that would be significantly a game changer.
That's the foundation for whatever Demetri finna say. That's the foundation, Donovan, that's gonna start it to move. You have to repair the Black family because we've been traumatized for over 400 years. They didn't just traumatize the Black woman, they traumatized the whole family. And they did it through what I call separation. Separation should make sure that we get reparations.
I see y'all must have got together. It's like, we gonna team up on Demetri today. We gonna team up. Whatever she say, we gonna team up on her. Yeah, I would say that's a good way to hold us accountable, as us being held accountable to each other. The Black man held accountable to the Black woman, or whatever, vice versa. But y'all ain't gonna like this. I swear for God, y'all might kick me off the show, and y'all may never want to speak to me again. But I think Black people are gonna be held accountable forcibly by another 4 years of Trump. I think that's going to help Black people be held accountable, because slowly but surely, Trump and Gary's friends are going to start checking stuff off the list of the stuff that Black people benefit from. And one of the things that they're saying, I think it was Clyburn that got up there and said that them not wanting to renew the $600 stimulus package, part of the unemployment, is racist, because predominantly Black and brown people work in those service sector jobs that are cut off, or the hours are cut or have gone away. And so the Republicans are like, well, yeah, you know, they should get something. I think it's the saying they should get 70% of what you make. So you making $200 a week. Well, golly, bet you by golly, wow, maybe I'll be able to buy a loaf of bread. But in my opinion, that's what's going to help Black people want to be accountable, is if we're forced to be accountable. And I think another Trump 4 years is going to force the hand of Black people.
Well, I think we've had two catastrophic events that have forced Black people to wake the hell up. One is Donald Trump. Two is the pandemic. This pandemic has shown us everything that we are lagging in. Everything that we don't have, everything that we need to be doing. Trump and my Republican homies, let me tell you something, man. They ain't about giving you $600 a week. You can go out there and do what you do, shaking your ass at the trail ride. You go shake your ass up in one of them jobs. Just put your mask on. Go to work. The pandemic has shown you, why don't you start your own business? But then that piggybacks off what the minister been trying to tell you for the last 40 years. Do for self. You see what I'm saying? You know, you're sitting around and you're crying, well, we can't lose this 600, man. We can't lose this 600. Man, I ain't getting no 600. And I'm surviving. Big Daddy Trump, the next 4 years, put your big boy boxers on, because it's going to be a hell of a ride.
I mean, that's honestly what I think. And to your point, the minister said that, for lack of better words, a Trump presidency is going to force Black people to wake up and see that all we have is ourselves. And I want to say this too about the $600. Yes, some people were irresponsible. It should have, if you were fortunate to get it, saved quite a bit of money. And there's some people who the $600 in addition to what they were getting on unemployment still wasn't enough to cover their bills. So there's a lot of people who actually need it and was doing the right thing. And unfortunately, like you said, Gary, there's a lot of people who will just, hey, it's time to get me a new pair of Jordans every time I get paid, or whatever it was. And so I would say to those people, shame on you for not saving that money, because it may not be renewed again. And then what? Then what?
I mean, do the math. I mean, $1,200 every 3 months. Man, that's crumbs. That's crumbs.
And then $1,200 goes to people who already have the money. Why is a white family that makes $177,000 annually, why do they get $1,200? And Black people make $14,000 a year or less. Who needs the money more? We do.
But to your point, we are consumers and we produce nothing, and we gave all of that money, statistically speaking, I know I jacked that up, we gave 97% of that money right back. So we like Gary said, and I know some Black people actually who have started businesses, so big ups to them. But a lot of us didn't take the opportunity to start a business or to try to buy something or like invest or like nothing. We just got more bullshit, more stuff that's going to depreciate. That's what we did.
This show in the pandemic has been a blessing in disguise, because you have people like the Carlos Johnsons with her sauces, world famous sauces. You have my man Terrence, who last night told me because of this show he started his own business. You see what I'm saying? Making more money. My good friend Ed Skinner, been in corporate America forever, decided to start him a lawn service business, making more money than what he made. Say, man, the thing is, man, the Democrats are playing y'all, bro. They playing you across the board with the illegal immigrants. They playing you on everything, man. And they starving you. Actually, and I don't care if you get mad. If you're sitting here and you're banking on that $1,200, you a crackhead. You a crackhead, because they spoon feeding you that $1,200 like it's crack. And they got you sitting around looking all on the floor and all that, looking for quarters. The motherfucker talking about they ain't even got quarters no more.
Right. Yeah, we're money
right here, man. The folk is playing y'all, man. They playing y'all, bruh. Do for self. You can find something that people like, and it's called supply and demand. Demetra did it, t-shirts. You see what I'm saying? I love when people start their own businesses. Man, hit a business, man. When one of y'all go open up a damn tutoring service for all these goddamn kids that gotta go to school online? Y'all got these degrees and all this here. You can do a tutoring service. Somebody gotta help these babies. And here's my thing. If you want to get rich, this is the biggest stock tip I could give you, and I don't want to step on Walter's toes. Make your tutoring service for special ed children. They ain't getting no goddamn education doing this shit. None. So I just told you how to make you a mint. That ain't got nothing to do with Democrat. That ain't got nothing to do with Republican. That's got something to do with being a man.
Well, since we're talking about businesses, I don't know if Demetra, if you saw that video there, that clip I showed you, I gotta say, big ups to Houston. Big ups to Houston. They opened the very first drive-through strip club. Innovative, it's working. I mean, it's the first one, so they got to do their thing.
All you have to do is just be creative. If you don't know what type of business to open, go ask a kid. When y'all gonna open a goddamn snow cone stand? It's hot as hell out there. But one of y'all gonna do it. Let's say, man, I'm not feeling sorry for certain people. I'm in the hood, so I get to see it all the time. So, at the end of the day, they playing you. They gonna take care of the illegal immigrants. We ain't gonna get nothing out the deal again. And old throw me and Joe gonna walk away if he wins, but I don't see him beating my peoples. I don't see that. And he gonna walk away. And I think we gonna end up in worse shape than what we was before. At least you had the drive under Trump because you knew where you stood. You knew you had to get off your ass and go get it. When Joe come in there making all them goddamn promises, you gonna kick back, put your feet up, grab a controller, play the PS4, and fuck around and end up in the goddamn homeless shelter.
And Donovan, do you know by any chance if they're accepting applications?
I'm about to go shake my money maker.
I'm asking for myself. I'm just playing. They're gonna be like, get your old ass out of here. We don't want no cottage cheese on the drive-through.
Even though that sounds silly, that actually acts happen. It's like Jerry said, you got to be innovative. Think of something innovative. So here's an old idea. Because remember, we're on Facebook right now. This was basically MySpace that was upgraded. That's all they did. He just took a platform and improved it. So, we got to start thinking outside the box, you guys.
We have to wake up, man, because I see it. I see it, man. And God bless the immigrant population, bro. God bless them. I mean, if you can win, you can win. I can't knock you. But they ain't my issue. It's the people that's giving it to them that's my issue. You ain't being fair giving it to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I just like I be thinking about stuff so much. A lot of things be hitting my mind. Defunding the police, stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we need to defund them, but they ain't gonna defund them in the white neighborhood. They just gonna hire private security. They gonna go get their own shit because they got the money to do it. They got the representation that's gonna put them in a position to get what they want. And y'all keep falling for the okie doke with these old broke down ass Democrats who keep us in a hole, man. And the thing about the Democrats, they don't never dig one hole for us. They dig two. So when you crawl your ass out of that hole, they throw you in another.
Absolutely. And so, and then Tay, that's my niece. She says, y'all hit up my IG at Admire Gift for personalized gifts. She has a whole lot of nice personalized things that could be personalized. You name it, you name it. Check her out. She actually started her business during the COVID. Looking to, be an entrepreneur. So check her out. But
Let me ask you a question, Demetri. Isn't it Walmart who just recently got rid of Black Friday? I think it was Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart is doing it.
So if y'all real, why don't y'all get together with Black-owned businesses and create a real Black Friday? All you got to do is be creative.
Yep, find the need and fill it. My mom used to always say, use what you can do and have somebody pay you for it. Whatever that is, we all got something we can do, something we can offer, but the problem that stops us is us. We come up with 11 excuses as to why we can't do it. Well, I would do it if I had the right amount of this, that, and the other, and the right equipment to do this. Just start where you are. Start where you are. You know how many YouTubers are mega millionaires because they started with a camera phone? That's all they had was a camera phone and an idea and something to say. And some of these people are making millions of dollars a month. And some of the content, we're not necessarily going to be in love with it, but they didn't make excuses to say, well, somebody might not like it. I want to do something that everybody's going to like. But, the only thing that stops us is us. Just get out of your own way. Figure out what it is you want to do and go do that. I mean, it's all three of us are on here. I'm sure it was one point in time before we started doing what we're doing. Maybe we had a little doubt like, damn, somebody might not like what we're doing. But eventually we got over that. We said, we don't give a damn if everybody don't like what we're doing. We got something to say. We going to say it. and be done with it. And the rest is history. Gary, you've been doing this, what, 10 years? I know I've been doing it for over 4.
I'm in year number 8. And I'm going to be honest, the first 3 years, I didn't have a company. I just did it. And then I did the research and I figured out that advocates make $25 to $75 an hour. Well, I knew my people money wasn't like that. So what I do is I come up with a flat fee. And let's see if we can make it affordable. If I have to put them on payment plans, I put them on payment plans. You know, bottom line, I had to do something. I did not want to work in corporate America anymore. I didn't want to do it. So that's why some days when people want to attack me, oh, he's an activist. No, I'm not. I'm an advocate. I have my own consultation company. And I just go do what I do. I mean, but we got to do something different, man.
Advocates got they don't eat air. You know, it'd be nice to help people for free, but that's your gift. That's another thing too. We got to get out of the habit as Black people expecting people to do everything for free. Or, you know, and I don't like to play into a lot of stereotypes, but I'm speaking as a person that's in the professional field as well. I do consultations and, you know, campaign managing and all that kind of stuff. And I can't tell you how many people want to run me low. I had one dude ask me when it was time for him to pay me. He's like, oh, well, you know, I got to pay other people. You don't need the money right now, do you?
Man, let me tell you something. Minus a few. When you talk about political consultation, minus a few. You motherfucking Democrats need to go get a payday loan. Because y'all motherfucker work for free, man. I'm being dead serious, man. You got the hardest problem sometimes getting your money up out these Democrats. They ain't got no chipples like talking about, man. They ain't got no money, man. So, you know, I'm with you. Start a business, start something. Do something with yourself. The hell with Trump and Biden, man. Do something to help your family. That's what you need to do. And when you say YouTube, the war zone is almost there. We need y'all to sign up for our YouTube channel. We halfway home. And where we at right now, it normally takes 3 years to get that many viewers, subscriptions. But we there. Man, go start you a YouTube channel. Let me tell you something. Controversy and sex sales. If you are old, you know, some of y'all older women, y'all cougars, put you on a bikini and just go sit on YouTube and talk shit. Talk about Starbucks. You mess around and start making money. Go ahead.
I done already told y'all once, and I ain't gonna tell y'all again. I will not twerk for the opening of this show, okay?
You know, but you know, in all seriousness, no, like I started my channel about 6 years ago, and I brought Demetra in because Demetra was doing it a year before, but she was just doing it with her friends. So it took me a while to get her out, you know, out of the house, and we've been doing it ever since. But there's a person on here, Shannon, and this is what makes it worthwhile for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but this young lady has been following Jerry for, I guess, for a while now. And when Jerry started bringing on the talents that come with the show, it changed her whole perspective. And if we can change, if it's just one person, we've done a good job. And that's what all this is about. You know, just changing ideas and exchanging of ideas. And, you know, and Shannon, you know, she's just a believer now, you know.
I mean, the thing is, we don't know everything. But all three of us are entrepreneurs. So what are we doing that you're not doing? The hell with corporate America. I got sick of corporate America. You know, when you working on a drilling rig with cats from Mississippi and Alabama, and somebody come up in the kitchen, I can tell you, I got you, boy. You think I'm gonna stay in corporate America very long. I went right outside and fired up that barbecue pit and tried to throw his ass up in there. It was time for me to go. Start your own business, Mr. Monroe. Your attitude too bad to work for them people.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing for me. I was a personal banker in corporate America, and I had a white woman like to talk to me crazy. And I was like, I'm a killer. I know I'm a killer. And she happened to fire me one day, just didn't like me. That was fine. It was the best thing that ever happened for me, because I was never, well, I won't say never, but it pushed me to do what I need to do. And I haven't looked back since. So when I see her, after I punch her in the face, I want to tell her thank you.
Final thought, Donovan.
Oh, wow. Okay, you guys. My final thought for the night is this. It's Friday. Be safe. Wash your hands. Wash your ass. Whatever you're going to be doing. Number 2, if Biden does select a woman for his VP, and I know you guys are excited, you feminists and all that great stuff. Hey, I applaud all that. At the end of the day, ask yourself, other than the symbolism of a woman being vice president of the United States, what do you get out of the deal?
Final thoughts, Ms. Demetri.
In addition to Donovan's wash your hands and wash your ass, get up off your ass physically and mentally, and let's do the damn thing. Let's stop being consumers and let's be producers. We all got something to offer each other, right? Let's recycle our dollars back into our pockets so that we can do what we need to do. Peace.
I want to send a shout out to all our entrepreneurs on the show. I don't know all of y'all, but God bless you for stepping out and trying to do it on your own. It's a struggle some days, but you can get it done. You can get it done. I want to tell you guys, make sure you got your masks on this weekend. Stay out of places you don't need to be. The COVID is real, man. The COVID is real, man. That's all I can tell you. It's real. And if you don't think it's real, you're going to mind somebody when it's over. I promise you that. So, say another spirited discussion. And like Earl Jones said, we ain't scared over here at the War Zone. We're going to talk about everything. Say, I want to thank the co-host, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general. Until Monday night, we'll holler.